Hey, I wanted to do a video on the Dfflpffs, another check-in video, because I finished my read of my first draft of my NaNoWriMo novel from last year, though I think I finished it in January of this year, and I finally kind of came back to it, and for the very first time, I have, well, there's a couple of things. I finished it. I finished the novel as a novel. I finished NaNoWriMo a good number of times, but there's a good number of those NaNoWriMo novels that I just never went on and finished the story. I have actually started finishing the stories, and this is the first time that I've gone, okay, I'm going to turn this blob into an ebook, slap a cover on it, a sexy warrior, half-naked warrior woman on the cover, and put it on an ebook. And I'm going to put a goal to myself to every day just read a couple of the sections. It's kind of easy that way. It alternates back and forth between the mother and the son, the two Dfflpffs, Abigail Al Dfflpff, who is a former warrior woman turned farmer, and her son, Peter, Petre. I don't know why. There's just a little. I think that actually makes sense for his name. Um, and it alternates back and forth between their two stories. They get separated at the beginning of the story, and they get reunited at the end. And there's some sort of a resolution of their relationship, which I guess if I'm talking about this story, that is the heart of the story. Now I'm it sounds like, oh, it's a father, it's a not father, it's a mother son story. It's like, no, it's a erotic fantasy book. It's very much and very kind of uh, leaning into what probably most people would consider pornography, not just simple light eroticism. No, it's like it's very he's Peter becomes the kept wife of a whole tribe of warrior women. It's that kind of book, extremely raunchy. Um, but I actually read it, and for what I'm trying to do, which I think hopefully I just laid out what I'm trying to do there, I actually kind of enjoy it. So I would think I want to keep the momentum going with what I've done with this story, with this novel, is what can I do next? And I guess what I can do next is not a close copy edit, because it's not at that stage yet. I think there's a lot of stuff that, especially as I get to the end point in the book, and it needs more and more kind of rewriting, refocusing as it goes along. And I've maybe got like just that summary at the end of like they separate at the beginning and they reunite at the end. That gives me these points to kind of to write to refocus the story on. So I think that my next goal will be to go through section by section and do that rewrite. Um, Maybe think about the end and what kind of end I want to go for. I think I actually, there's a lot of ways I like the ending that I have. There's ways to get at it better, probably. There's certain characters that come up and then just disappear, which either they need to come up again or they probably just need to get cut out of the story. Um, so stuff like that, refocusing, because like, as you're just writing in a headlong thing, you just kind of have a character, this character, that character. There might be ways that I could actually condense characters, put them together, uh, various stuff like that. It feels overwhelming at this point, I guess, is where I'm at, and maybe why I haven't started this process yet. But I don't want to leave it. So I thought that my best goal was to just simply make a video about, okay, I want to do the second draft. The second draft is what I'm going for the story. Now I'm in the middle of writing other things at the moment, and I don't want to necessarily put them aside. So what I'm thinking about doing is, yeah, giving myself like Once I've kind of what would be my next best thing? I think my best next thing would be to write the outline again, actually. Now that I've got what I have here, write that down, write down the outline of the various events that happen, just in very as basic point form as I can, just to give me an overall picture. Okay, that is actually probably the next goal to have, is for the next couple of days, is just kind of go through the story, and by point just kind of compile that list of alternating scenes between the son and the mother. That would probably be a good idea. And just like, where can I see glaring points that, oh, I need to add more here, or oh, I need to subtract here, or oh, why does it go off in this direction? Can I have another direction? Um, Various things with Peter becoming a little warrior in the Mamra tribe. Mamra, you can tell what kind of book this is. Mamra tribe, wild women warriors, tall, big, breasty Mamra warrior women. Um, yeah. So what I'll do is I will write the outline of the book again and look at that, and report back with that kind of an overview of the story, just on a very kind of point by point basis, and make plans of, okay, I'm not wanting to get into the copy editing. There's plenty of copy editing stuff. Just reading it, even though I know what I wrote, I can see where it's like, oh, I had to correct in my head, and still enjoy myself reading it. God. It's not bad. That's not a bad thing. So yeah, that'll be my next thing. So what would be realistic? We're Saturday tomorrow, so perhaps that'll be my goal for the next. Let's say I'm gonna check in again on Tuesday. Tuesday, I will check in with what I've got done, what I've got written of the outline so far. It'll give me an idea of how much I can actually get done, and we'll go from there. So yes, I'm writing that down on the board. Is D outline, and what I'll do is on each day going forward, I've got D's. I got a D for Doodle. I've got a D for Dfflpff. My D for Dfflpff will now be writing the outline down again, the shape of the story, and looking at that, and having it recently in my mind, having read the story, how that worked, and how maybe it could work better. All right. So that's my check-in with the Dfflpffs, my ridiculous NaNoWriMo erotic fantasy novel. More videos later.